Welcome back to Inherself podcast,
where we talk about faith, family, finance, and friendship.
So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on all social media platforms.
And make sure to turn your notifications on to be notified whenever we post new content. Now straight to the episode.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Happy Black History Month. Oh Lord.
What is wrong with you saying Negro
it just give
hymnals?
that because it's Black History Month, so we're just supposed to,
You saying the spiritual hymns. You
just
keep going.
That.
What other
That's
one you
all
got?
I got. Because once I go down that rabbit hole, forget it.
The rabbit hole is crazy.
I will sing every Negro spiritual I know.
Do you know them?
I am black.
That don't mean
I'm
nothing.
the blackest they. Oh, this the right hand?
No, not is that the right hand. It's crazy because you can't do it with the left hand. You got to do it with the right
I just feel
one.
like it's like more power in it when you do it with the right hand.
What if you left-handed?
Do it with the right hand. I said what I said.
So there's a one. Which hand you got it?
It's not. I just feel like majority of the pictures they just do it like this.
The right hand. Talking about you, the black as they come. You know what? Black Card Revolt. That's what we should be playing.
And honestly, I feel like it would be Revolt.
It would.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a lot of movies you ain't seen. You seen The Color Purple?
Now you know doggone well. More than one time, the old one, the Broadway play, and this new one they brought out.
Oh,
Yeah.
You seen Lion King? Is that black? That's not black.
Give me your card. I don't think that's a black movie.
No, listen, hear me out.
Okay.
So, wasn't it done in Africa? Wasn't it? No.
I don't know if we trading places with Dory, but you got to calm down.
No, listen. Hear me out. Because you think about the safari. Where do safaris be at? No?
At Busch Gardens.
No, Dory.
Right.
Because what?
They are. You're right. Okay, we could take that as a Black History movie.
Thank you.
I seen Friday. I seen all these black movies.
Okay.
Now I don't know them word for word. I'm not doing that.
You know how to play? You know how to play spades? Give her that card.
I know how to play spades.
Give her that card. No, you don't.
I know.
Let's ask G.
I know. I'm not great. You didn't ask me if I was good. You asked me did I know how to play. I know the concept.
You play dominoes?
Yeah.
When you learned?
Since I was a kid.
You lying.
Yeah.
You learned during Hurricane Ian.
Yeah. Milton, not Ian.
It was
Ian. I don't think we was alive when Ian came.
Okay, is it Milton?
Yes, it was Milton.
Okay, this last hurricane last year. You just learned.
I think as the years progressed, because I didn't, I grew up in Riverview. It ain't a lot of us out here. I went to school in black neighborhoods, but I didn't really, as I grew older, I said, I need to embrace this.
You have a black family.
I know, but that don't know.
Wait, that do.
It do, but see, for me, my children will know black history.
They gonna know how to cook?
Yeah, all of the above.
Collard greens?
All of it.
You cook collard greens?
No.
Listen, black card. Give me the card. Give me the card.
But hear me.
I'm
I
listening.
didn't. Well, I can't lie and say I didn't grow up on that. My grandmother didn't pass that down to me.
So you trying to see your grandma not black?
No, I just feel like she didn't pass it down. Like your family, they passed that thing down. Well, at least you watched in the kitchen.
Exactly.
I didn't do that.
Why you ain't watch?
I don't even know if I was allowed in the kitchen like that.
Why you wasn't allowed in the kitchen?
I don't know, because I feel like I would know how to cook more. Well, I know how to cook. I'm saying I would know these things and culture-wise if I was in the kitchen for real. My mother didn't grow up cooking. That's not how I was raised. So that's why I said I'm blackity black. Nowadays, like I'm rooting for everybody black.
Okay, so that's what makes you get your black card. I still feel like you have some, it's some revokes that you.
I would have to agree, but I'm changing my life.
I don't have no black card revokes. None. Don't try me.
No, I won't.
Oh, okay.
I won't.
I ain't got none.
I don't have to.
No,
but I'm saying for me, like research wise, like watching documentaries, things of that nature, I'm more hip to.
You know what? I agree with that 100%. You know what? I was watching, was that like, it was last week, I want to say. I didn't know that like lynchings and stuff didn't take place until after the slaves were freed.
Right.
I didn't know that.
I feel like they were like, not feel like, they were harming them and doing of that nature, but they had more control when they were slaves, so to speak. So when we got free, it was like, let's take them, lynch them, and then now you see the example of what you could be if you try us type of mentality. But now that you say that, I guess it does make a lot of sense.
It just was, I don't know why that stuck out to me, because I'm like, I guess I always just associated them both together, right? And I'm tying that into the conversation because I'm saying like we're making very light, and we can talk about, you know, Black things that we do in a light way, but where we come from, those games or shows, they're passed down through generation. But what we started from was something that was so tragic.
Yeah.
That the fact that we still can smile about something that we've recreated is like epic to me.
Yeah. Because then we'll be crying every day if...
I still can't watch certain movies though.
No, and you know, a lot of us do say that. And I guess for me, you know, I watch things
like
that
Mississippi Burning.
watching.
I can't really watch
I
that.
would watch it all.
No, because I'll be ready to fight.
And I get it. But see, that I just like, what was the mindset? Like, what did they go through? Like, I've sat with my grandmother and I've asked, like, how was life in Maryland? Like, you were this kid and you were a Black kid, but she's more on the lighter side. So she was treated better, so to speak, than some of her siblings. Like, she was born in 1949. So there was a white side and there was a Black side. And I'm like, that's how you were raised.
Wow. So she remembers.
She remembers that. And so I sit down and I pick her brain sometimes. I'm like, what kind of life was that? And she said it was the normal life. That's what we encountered.
So she actually like went to a all Black restroom.
They had to. They didn't have no choice.
That is wild. So again, we talked about this before, like having aunts and uncles and, you know, different people, grandparents that experienced it, but not really having them be, but sometimes some of them not even living anymore, right? But the ones who are still living, like, that is wild.
It is.
Because we read it inside of textbooks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
but
we
to talk
experienced
to
a different
somebody,
type yeah. But to talk to her and listen to what she says and how life changed. Like, we can look at it and say, life hasn't changed much, but I feel like through her eyes, it's changed a lot because it's not what it used to be. I can go to the bathroom with somebody that's not the same color as me.
And to go back to that, I am so grateful that that we were not born in that dispensation. Because it twofold, right? Because you got the old heads that be like, no, you would have just complied because that's what you were supposed to do. But the rebellion that's inside of my soul,
Yeah.
I don't think that I just can't.
Me personally, I think like that. Like, I would have just complied because that's what you had to do. But then I think how I was marching and doing all of this stuff, I'm like, that would have been me.
But do you understand that if that was the case, I try to compare apples and apples, right? I'm like, well, they're like, if you was going back, you just would have been lynched. You just would have been, because you gonna comply. And I'm like, but think about it now. We rebelled against our parents. If it was in you to just obey, you would just be obeying. Like something, there was a generation that was raised up that said, I'm not taking this anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. But then I think about the people that are famous in Black history because they rebelled.
Right. And they were pivotal in the movement.
Yes.
So to go backwards in that capacity, we got a lot of people who crazy now.
They were crazy then too, though.
It's a different. They was crazy with intention.
Okay.
We got just crazy people now.
Yeah.
They just because they don't even care. It would not be a good thing.
Yeah.
There was no intentionality behind it. You're not fighting for a purpose. You're not even thinking about how it affects the other person. You're doing it just because ain't nobody gonna tell me. The mentality is not even cultivated the way that it needs to be to say, what are you standing up for? Back then, it was they to me, just researching, to me it felt like, or it feels like they were concerned about what their actions did and how it affected their neighbor.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If I go run and I'm a slave, then my family is affected, or they will kill it. There were people who were attached to you that also suffered with you based off of your actions. And in the world we live in today, you only think that what you do affects you, and that's not true.
Yeah, they didn't have selfish mentality back then. It was all
Community.
If I do this, I know I'm gonna go back and get. Harriet told me, so to speak. She said, I found a way. Let me go back and get them and show them how to do this. Rosa Parks, even though it was somebody before her that, and I won't get into that because I don't want to get ate up, but it was somebody before that that refused to get off the bus. And that's what started the trend of, well, let me refuse. But I had people that said, I had enough. And so if I speak up, maybe a change will happen. They weren't selfish back then.
Because they thought about, you said something. You said that Harriet Tubman went back to get those who were enslaved because she found a way. Mm-hmm. She wasn't thinking about herself, which shows me that when our community is saying Black people don't look out for each other or they can't, they choosing not to do that. But it's not everybody. Right. It's almost like saying, you in a group of, you in school, you got a classroom full of people. 2 of those students are throwing papers and doing whatever. Mind you, let's just give it a number. If you had a classroom of 30 mm-hmm. and 2 out of the 30 is doing something reckless, you're not going to throw away the whole class. It's those 2. Same thing in our community. It's what some people who are not, or they're not community driven, they're selfish, that does not represent the entire body of our community. You have people who steal. Our entire community are not thieves. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So it does not mean that that's what the Black representation is. It's like, oh, well, they ghetto and they speak loud and they do. That is not, you saw one person and you attributed that attribute to an entire collective of people, and you sound ignorant.
But I think it's important to know that we represent all of us to some degree. Well, we do actually. Because if I walk outside and they're going to say, oh, maybe all Black people do that, because it's not a good stigma to have. But that's how people think. Oh, she robbed and steal. Maybe they all do that. Oh, she cuss and she look crazy. Maybe they all do that. I think that's such a stigma of what the human mind does to put everybody in the same box.
I think they do that based off how you raised.
I would have to agree with that.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not raised to view another race in a different capacity, then I'm not going to do that, because that wasn't put in me. I'm going to take the time to learn and say, oh, what my experience is XYZ. If you already have a prejudged mentality, then you're going to look for what you have heard about that culture or about that individual based off what you heard. It's almost like hearsay. You walk into a room or somebody comes in here and I'm saying, before they get here, girl, she shoplift, she be walking around here with an attitude, girl, she da-da-da-da. I've already gave you the scoop on this person based off my experience. So when they walk into a room, you're prejudged. The person is prejudged. So you're looking to see if what I said was true. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening.
Yeah. But that's if you take race out of it and just humanize the person. How about that?
That's a conversation that we're not ready to have.
Exactly.
We've been trying to do that for forever.
Right.
We still trying to get there.
So then I'm saying, therefore, like, we're always going to have this stigma of this is who we are. And I think that's why a lot of us Black women and even Black boys are pushing to change the narrative of what we're so-called being told of who we are. That's why, like, I'm not gonna live that same life. I'm gonna change it and say, oh, the white person did it too. The Black person can do it as well. Or the Hispanic person did it. A Black person can do it as well.
You know what I think our culture is missing too? The voice, like a leader. Like, you know how back then we had MLK. He was the voice of the Black people. We had Malcolm X. He was the voice of, even if you think about biblically, there was always a judge. There was always a risen person who was the voice to help exit out, to help do. I don't think we have, who is our Black voice?
What about, no, I was gonna say Al Sharpton and then, but he hung out with
girl, I'm saying, but is he, not taking anything from him, but is he? I know he's actively doing things, but he's not really in social.
No, I 1,000% understand what you're saying. We don't have it, and probably because we're terrified of the outcome.
I see what you're saying.
If I do stand up and speak, that could be my life. If I do root for all things Black and I get on a platform and do it, I could end up dead and gone representing people. Half the people didn't even like Martin Luther King.
I think it's trust. I think that we have so much mistrust within our own community that it's like, no, I'm not listening to nobody because I don't trust y'all. Within our own community. Yeah. I think that's what, if we had someone that was raised up to say, I'm speaking on behalf of us. I'm speaking on behalf of our culture, that we are going to make it. We are going to live this dream. We're going to be what God has called us to be, and build and have our own Black Wall Street again and actually do those things. I'm not saying that we don't have leaders within communities. Right. I'm saying that voice that was powerful. I'm going to go out on a limb right now. Please don't. Okay. All right. But it's almost like what TD Jakes used to be when he first came out. It was like, oh, he was the America's pastor. Right. You know what I mean? That person that everyone feels comfortable listening to. The closest thing that I probably can say is probably Obama. That most people trusted that was from.
Yeah. You can say that.
He's probably the closest one.
He held a seat that was never, a Black person had never did before. So yeah. You can't say that.
And I'm asking these questions because I'm like, what are we doing? Are we boycotting Target? Because it's a lot of confusion in the atmosphere.
I know.
How are we sticking together with what? Like what's going on? Are we sitting? Are we standing? Are we what? Because people are just moving on. They're like,
because that's what we have been doing for years. But I think for me, and we talked about this, and we probably gonna, get judged for it. But Target as a whole, yeah, what they doing with DEI and stuff like that, but there's Black people that are selling their items in this place where once upon a time, Black people couldn't even walk in there and see their stuff on the aisle. So why not support to that level and say, well, I'm going in here and I'm supporting this Black owned business anyway.
I agree. I feel like, because I did see Tabitha Brown's her post, because she has product that's inside of Target, and she was stating the same. She was like, I understand you want to boycott, but you have a lot of businesses who have worked and bust they behind to be in that position. If you don't want to support Target, sure, but can you support us who have our products inside of Target? And she cannot put those contracts. But again, you're not business minded. You thinking it's easy as, well, Auntie Tab, take your stuff and go put it online and shop. But baby, she's so wefted into a lot of different things. She has more than just seasoning. She has a whole vegan sausages and potato salad and
pots and
wine, and it's so many different products. And she may very well be under contract. It's not what she loved to say, hey, you're not talking about just my people. I am my people. You're talking about me too. She's affected as well. But she's also men in business, fervent in spirit. She's under contract
and can't leave
without it directly affecting her and being able. And they're like, well, you take one. That's ignorance.
To me, it is.
I want you to be serious, but I also want us to be serious, because Target is not the only company that did it. If we talk about it, so did Meta.
And Meta is Instagram.
And y'all watching this on Instagram right now. I'm confused. Are we boycotting?
I think it's what's the easiest for people to do. I don't have to shop at Target. I can go anywhere else. But you so locked in social media, it's like, well, I don't got no choice, because everything my whole life is on here. So I'm going to be on here anyway.
So you're picking
yes,
and choosing what you want to do. And so did Walmart. Amazon did too. Did you cancel your subscription to Amazon? And here's the thing. I'm not saying support it. I'm saying, can we be clear on how we are deciding to take a stance? Can we have an educated conversation? We have a problem, and what's the solution?
We just complain.
That's what I'm asking. I'm saying we are choosing what we want to escalate, and what are we de-escalating? Like, can we move with wisdom? Mm-hmm. That's all I'm asking for, and not emotion. It feels like we are moving based off of emotion with no strategy.
And what they did back then was have both.
Ding, ding, ding. That's my point. There was a meeting of the minds. How can we move as a community the needle to take effect? That's what I don't see happening. And I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, please comment.
I don't see that happening. For one, we against each other more than anything now, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. We don't support like we should. And I know people are going to say, well, I do, but Black-owned businesses, they do. Okay, beyond that. But we don't support like we should. We don't love like we should. Only to me when terrible things happen.
Well, that's change the narrative. Let's change our algorithm. How about instead of posting negative things, how about we post when we are supporting? Let's start vlogging and saying, I just purchased 500 units of XYZ and I'm giving this hair care product to my entire church family. How about we come up with opportunities to stop posting things that are negative, post what we actually are doing, because it's happening.
Yes.
I know that it's happening. I refuse to believe that our Black people, our Black aunts and uncles and fathers and cousins, because all of us cousins.
I know you lie.
You understand? All of us is cousins.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and I saw a post too that I can't think his name. He's an actor, but he is Cuban. And he was like, he's like, I'm Black. Like because at the end of the day, like he said, the difference between me and you is that the boat stopped in Cuba and kept y'all going to the US. We all from the same tribe, baby. We all from all us cousins. So it's not just because my melanin is darker than yours. You're Black. That's like me, baby. And I know support is happening. So how about we change the algorithm and start posting what we are doing positive? And that's it.
Or show other Black people where they can get Black products from.
And don't buy here. Where can I buy?
Where can? Because if you tell me don't, I don't got no more hair grease. Where else I'm going to go? I don't have no choice.
You know what? So we can be the solution to that. We're going to start doing that.
Okay.
I mean, let's stop talking about it. Let's be about it.
I'm going to do it. I don't mind.
I don't mind either. We have a platform. We have the opportunity to start listing Black owned or just minority owned things. This is Black History Month, so I'm gonna push Black all day long.
Right.
Black products, whether it's hair care, whether it's skincare, you have a business and you are trying to do the best that you can, meaning you're thriving, it's a reputable product or service. Let's start sharing that stuff to say, okay, we're not going to talk about what we don't want. Did we not have a podcast episode?
Ma'am.
Stop saying what you don't want. Say what you want. Where can we shop to support each other? Where can we bank? Where can we get a leasing space or an apartment or a house or a job? Where can we get these items and things from?
Because they're out there, like you said. We just don't have the platform or we don't have the backing that we should have to make it these big companies. But if we support each other, or if you tell somebody, they'll tell somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
And start sharing the content. If we're going to still utilize their stuff and they're saying we're taking back, no problem. We're going to use your stuff, but for our gain.
All you're going to see is Black.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's fine. So that's what I mean. Can we start to regenerate wealth in a different capacity? There's multiple ways to skin a cat. At the end of the day, if they're going to do what they're going to move anyway, talking about the government and whatever, how are we deciding as a culture, as a community to move? Not what we not going to do. What are we going to do? What is the next best thing? What is the answer? And please, my Black people who have these businesses, can we move in excellence?
That's it. That's all.
Can we move in excellence? That's all I'm asking. And you don't have to know everything, but research is free. I mean that it is, especially with the world being at our fingertips. It is free.
To change the narrative. We don't have to continue to hear, oh, I don't like going to Black restaurants, or I don't like going to Black businesses because I'm going to get this, or I'm going to get lack thereof. Change the narrative.
Yeah.
And then we won't have to say I have to go elsewhere because I won't get the service that I deserve. No, it's say, no, I'm going with my people because I know I'm going to get the service I deserve, and then some because these are my people.
Because just like going back to the story with the children in classroom you got to, we know that not everyone is going to move in excellence, but I'm not going to magnify that. I'm just not going to shop with you. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm not looking for you to fail. My steps and protocol is if I do see a business and I'm supporting them in something that they do that I'm not really particular with, whether it's customer service, I'm going to, in a most polite way, say, hey, maybe you should consider doing XYZ. Now, based off of your response to me, are you receptive to what I'm saying? And I know that I said it in a very respectable way because I want to see you win. I want to see you grow. If you giving me like a whatever attitude, then it's okay. I'm going to politely find somebody else. Whether you were Caucasian or whatever, I did it across the board. That's no judgment. But understand it, and we're going to have a standard where we are setting a standard of excellence. I expect you to move that way because my money spends everywhere.
But I would rather
spend it with you.
It's just as simple as that. Mm-hmm. Community. Let's actually like each other.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't think that we do.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say, I was watching a documentary of our ancestors, and they have these old videos of what is it like when you were in slavery, or what was it like when you couldn't go to these restaurants, and they said it was tough, but we had each other. They loved hard because of the turmoil that's all they had. I think because we have a level of freedom, we just do what we want to do, and we don't say, this is my brother or my sister. Like, I should love you a little bit more, because we all going through the same thing. Whether we believe it or not, we are not liked.
Yeah, I think what the difference now with that statement is that we don't feel like we need each other.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like we're in an environment, in a world where it's like, if you don't support me, so what? I don't need you because I got where I am. Their proof in the pudding is I didn't get here because you didn't help me get here. So clearly I don't need you to get what I have. What they needed is whoever was in their circle, because that's what we're teaching now. We're teaching people to don't be around everybody and don't be around people who don't help to cultivate you. Not necessarily like, what do I need from you? Because you do have categorized people. Mm-hmm. Like you have some people who are associates. You have people who are your family and your tribe that you can be more vulnerable with. But to not say like your community and the body of people that you came from, your culture is a part of who you are.
I feel like nobody understands you like the next Black person, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like you wouldn't know what I would go through because that's not your story. Like you don't have those same experiences.
Calling all new entrepreneurs and business owners. Are you looking to scale your business or plan your next big event? Well, Eva's agency is just for you. Unique systems such as automations, vendor management, and establishing SOPs are just a few services that they offer. But don't forget about event planning. To schedule a free consultation, go to their website at www.evas.agency today. So I really just think that we need to get back into a space where we depend on each other, and be vulnerable. Like it's okay to need each other and not like, oh my gosh, I can't move on with life. No, but I want to support you, and I would like that same support, vice versa. And not be in our feelings so much where it's like, oh, well, no, one person don't do it. Oh, see, that's all I'm talking about. That's why I don't do it, because people don't. Right. It's okay. We all have tribes within communities. Like you have groups within groups of people, but we all support the same vision and the same mission. Yeah. And so with that, I feel like even our Discord that we have in Patreon, like because we have several different states that our posts and our streaming platforms go to. I think that to start those communities within our inner circle community, whether you're from Chicago, or if you're from New York, or if you're from Florida, or you're from North Carolina, like having groups on our Discord that support other Black businesses. So if you're from New York, what businesses do you know that are selling products or services that we can support in that area?
Because I'm in need of this. Who knows? And
yes. And so that we can start doing and selling and even bartering. It don't always have to be money to money or exchange for a service. Maybe you're exchanging services with each other. Let's get back to doing that, because sometimes you may need your hair done and you a nail tech. Well, I need my nails done. So let's exchange services. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be money.
Yep.
We can get back to the root of how to support each other, but it starts with conversations like this. It starts with having a meeting of the minds. It starts with having the know-how and admitting, hey, I don't know how to do this, but does anybody know how to start a business? You don't have to tell all of your stuff and what you want to do, but what is the concept? Yeah. We have so many attorneys, business attorneys, family law attorneys. We have a lot of people that we can literally move and grow in this day and age and win.
Yeah. We don't have to rely on anybody else but ourselves.
Especially not the government. Mm-hmm. We are the government.
No, you lying. That's a good idea. Let's do it.
I mean, our own government.
No, I know.
Girl. It's like, please.
I do not live in the White House. No. I live in the Black House.
Oh my
okay?
God, the Black House is crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But yeah, let's start that.
Okay, bet. I say we do it.
You guys want more information, hit us in the comment section, inbox us, or email. We have an email address, inherselfpodcast@gmail.com, and we will get you access to our Discord, our Patreon, and let's start working together.
I love that.
Happy Black History Month.
In herself, she is love.
In herself, she is beautiful. In herself, she is strong.
And black.
And black.
Huh? No. See you next week.
See y'all next week.